Okay, Thursday. How you doing, everybody? Glad you're with us on Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light. Yep, Thursday morning, lot going on today. Little tired. Woke. Probably watch more basketball than I normally do, and listened. Let me throw that in there too. Watched and very important, listened to some basketball last night, and a lot to get to this morning.
Oh yeah. Well, John is in his home studio. I am in Monroe, Louisiana, about to get on the bus. Tomorrow, I'll do the show from Mobile, Alabama.
Oh,
Please tell me, you guys.
back in the state tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah. Please tell me, you guys watched basketball last night. Please tell me, because there were some really good games involving schools in the state. Troy survives against ULM. Last second shot by Carrington Keel, and Troy beats ULM 77-76. It's heady times. Quick shout out here. Troy men's basketball and Troy women's basketball right now in first place in the Sun Belt.
How about that?
Of course, we played for the Sun Belt Championship in football. Things going pretty well for Troy Athletics. Really good game last night. Troy plays South Alabama on Saturday at 3. They're a half game out of first place right now.
And from what I understand, the baseball team's going to be pretty good too. So they got the trifecta.
Yeah, it's going
down there.
Pretty
well. I got
to
tell you, I thought I was watching an NBA game last night. 117, 115. Wow.
Please tell me some of you people watched that one, because that was amazing. You know, the quality of basketball, the quality of the competition. I mean, Alabama and Arkansas were getting after it in that game. Just how hard they were competing. It was tied in regulation. It was tied after the first overtime.
Can't say I thought that was going to happen at halftime. Particularly
halftime.
Nate Oates, when Brian Pasick interviewed him, I thought Oates was going to snatch his neck off. He was so upset. Says the defense was a disaster. I thought I was listening to Trump. He uses that word a lot. Said it was a disaster.
Yes.
They played so bad.
Arkansas was huge in the first half. Arkansas scored 57 points in the first half in Tuscaloosa. And they scored 58 the rest of the way in the second half and in 2 overtimes. So the defense got better. Arkansas led by 10 at halftime. He scored 57 in the first half on the road in Tuscaloosa.
No defense, none.
Alabama outscored them by 10 in the second half. They go to overtime, 10-10 in the first overtime. Alabama wins it in the very last second, 117-115 in 2 overtimes at Coleman Coliseum.
It was about
I don't know if you'll see a better basketball game than that one last night.
It was about this close to going into a third overtime.
It was.
Arkansas misses a shot and a putback or a slam that jumped off the back of the rim. It was pretty amazing. I mean, Arkansas's 4 of their starting 7. They played a 7-man rotation basically last night. And those 4 guys fouled out. And Alabama went to the foul line quite a bit last night and made them pay. I mean, there again, foul shots aren't the most exciting part of the game. And young kids don't like to practice it, but it can certainly help you and win a game. And Alabama from the free throw line was amazing. I'd say something else that was amazing, Barry. I couldn't believe it when I saw it on the screen. And I think Jimmy Dykes pointed it out, and I looked on the screen, and they had the graphic of it. At one point in time, at about the 9-minute mark in the second half, Dykes made the comment, Alabama shooting 84%. And I went, what did he just say? And I looked at the screen, and the graphic was up there. I'm thinking 84%. I don't think I've ever heard of a team at maybe after the first 2 trips down the floor, they might be shooting 84%. But if you're going to come back from 10 down, I guess shooting 84% will help you.
Well, LeBaron Filan scores 35. Aiden Sherrill scores 26. Amari Allen scores 19. Filan was terrific. He played 41 minutes. I think Amari Allen played all but carry the 1 at 40. Yeah. He played a ton. Darius Acuff.
Yeah, how about this
for
guy?
Arkansas. He played 50 minutes. He scores 49 for Arkansas. 49 for Darius Acuff. No relation to Roy Acuff.
Yeah.
And just if you're one of those who loves defensive basketball, wasn't necessarily that. Nate always gets talked about being, hey, back and forth and, up and down. And so you're going to have some high scores defensively. It was not a clinic.
No.
But, man, if you just again, of competition was extraordinary in that game. I mean, both teams getting after each other every second of the whole deal. There wasn't a lull. Elmer and Mavis on the front row. I mean, her heart was probably all aflutter in that one. Alabama wins it. Huge win for Alabama. You cannot overstate that. Arkansas's top 25.
That was a big one. There's no doubt. That was
again,
don't need to lose at home, as they say.
So you had
being 10 down at half and being able to come back to win it, I thought was pretty impressive.
Here's the thing, and you had great individual scoring performances, a shootout between Acuff with 49 and Philon with 35. I mean, you had everything in that game. Over in Starkville.
Or over in my driveway, however you want to describe it.
Well, if you only started listening to that game late when it appeared that Auburn was going to lose to Mississippi State, you missed out on it. Same kind of thing. Auburn was down big in the first half. Mississippi State led at halftime 49-33. Auburn had a big comeback. Auburn led by 7 with 4 minutes to go.
Yeah.
4 minutes to go. They were down 16 at halftime. They led by 7 with 4 minutes to go, and they lose by 6. How do you have a 13-point swing in 4 minutes? Anyway, that
was
story,
some of the best radio I've listened to in quite a bit.
But see, it wasn't even, from your concept, it wasn't even the best radio of the night, because where you needed to listen to that game was in the first half. All right? Stay with me here. Josh Hubbard, we talked about him yesterday or the other day, I want to say, with Brian Matthews, and we'll talk about him in this one with our guy Bart Heisch.
Yep.
Josh Hubbard, he ends up for Auburn in that game scoring, what did I have it? Yeah. Hubbard scores 46 in that game. 46 for Josh Hubbard. John, he set the Mississippi State 3-point record in a game in that one.
Yeah, Arkansas had more threes,
At halftime. At halftime, he had the new record. How does that happen? He had it at what point does somebody say, hey, man, you might want to cover number 12?
Well, there again, I think that's why Oates was so upset at halftime when Pasek was interviewing him.
Yeah, well,
I don't know how. And there again, I just was in the car at that point in time when I heard that. I normally don't. I love Chris Stewart and Brian Pasek. I just normally don't listen to them in the driveway as I do other radio people.
Yeah, well,
but he was not happy.
Hubbard scored. He broke. This is context. Mississippi State's school record for number of 3-pointers in a game is 8. Okay. They've done it like 6 times.
All right.
Hubbard had 9 3-pointers in the first half. He outscored Auburn by himself in the first half. He had 35 at halftime, John.
Didn't Stephen Pearl, wasn't he a little upset about Auburn's lack of defense prior to this game?
He did say this, and this is why I love listening to the radio for this kind of stuff. I'm a radio listener. the real story of that game to me was in the first half. John goes out to his car and he listens late in that game as Auburn, again, 7-point lead with 4 minutes to go. They lose by 6 in regulation.
I got to give them credit. They were down big at half, scraped back, took a lead.
And lost it. Bulldogs on a 12-2 run in the final minutes. Nate Oates, at the end of the first half, blistered his team to Brian Passink on the halftime interview.
Yeah, he did.
Post-game, if John stuck around in his car in his driveway, honey, come inside. Hang on, sweetie. Auburn coach Stephen Pearl says post-game on Auburn radio with Andy Burcham, quote, "That is the worst loss I've ever been a part of at Auburn." And again, he was an assistant coach for a long time as well.
Well, a good thing for Stephen, there weren't a lot of people in the arena to watch it. So at least he's got that going for him. A sparse crowd in Starkville last night, I noticed. Maybe it was the late tip. I don't know what it was. Whew, brutal.
It was, as Skip Carey used to say, way back in the doldrum days of Braves baseball. He's a partial sellout here at Fulton County Stadium.
Of course, you know what I noticed, though, Barry? The orange uniforms have got to go.
Wait a minute.
You know, they are so steadfast. Wouldn't wear an orange uniform in football if their life depended on it. But they'll run out there in basketball and baseball and wear orange. They'll wear all navy.
And it's just like putting a red cape in front of a bull to John. John's like, why are you doing this now? And you won't do it. Here's the deal. To wrap it up in a big bow. Just as huge of a win as that was for Alabama. And they move into a tie with Arkansas.
Oh, yeah.
In second place in the league. Just as huge of a win as that was for Alabama. Entertaining, spills, chills, thrills, the whole deal. That was a catastrophic loss for Auburn. Catastrophic.
Well, I agree with you, Barry,
Jason Caldwell, who's not going to be with us today. Jason is sick.
I bet he is. Yeah,
Jason Caldwell. Jason Caldwell, his column this morning is at Auburn undercover.com. It's officially panic time for Auburn basketball. John, they were so bad. And he said that before. Auburn has a hard time guarding. Auburn has a really hard time guarding out on the perimeter, guarding other guards.
Yeah.
Other guards are having career days against Auburn. And I guess shout out to Auburn's Keyshawn Hall. He's back in good graces, I guess. He scores 29. But Auburn basketball that's a game they had to win. Now Auburn is 5-8 in the league. They're 14-12 overall, and it is really good that they have played such a good non-conference schedule, and it is really good that their net ranking, their strength of schedule ranking is so good. But John, you got to win some games.
Well, you do.
Got to win some games. That was a terrible loss.
It wasn't good, and I got to tell you, I thought Auburn would win that game last night. I thought, looking at their schedule, which we've discussed a lot, this kind of 4-game run that they are on, they got Kentucky coming up next, albeit at home, which will be nice for Auburn to at least get back to Neville Arena, but they're still playing Kentucky late tip, as a matter of fact. That's a 7:30 game. And Alabama.
It's the reason it's on ESPN.
Yeah.
Is because of
Kentucky. Oh, yeah. Well, it's kind of like the Dallas Cowboys. Hey, Kentucky's not even ranked. They suck.
Well, see, here's the deal. This is why I'd like to grab some of the television executives and shake them by the scruff of the neck. Alabama is on the SEC network at LSU. Alabama is, love them, hate them, whatever. They're a fun team to watch.
Yeah, 117 points last night. Are you kidding me?
So why is that game on the SEC network? And the only reason why Auburn, Kentucky is on ESPN is because of Kentucky.
Well, of course, Auburn's
watch Alabama
as well. But, LSU's a game Alabama should win, even though it's on the road. They're coming off a big win. You never know the psyche, but certainly you would Alabama will be favored in this game. Auburn's got Kentucky, but Alabama's in a section of their schedule where they can make some hay. They can put some wins together. I believe if I don't, I usually have I know I have the football schedules memorized. Oh, they have Mississippi State at home after that. Then they go to Knoxville. So, the next two certainly seem winnable. Going to Knoxville has been a problem for Nate Oates. We've talked a lot about that as well. And then after Auburn, has Kentucky on Saturday, I think things get a little bit more manageable for them as well. At Oklahoma, another road trip. Wow. At Oklahoma, then Ole Miss, LSU, and then Alabama. I saw this stat, Barry. This is amazing. And I might not have it exactly verbatim, but I'm in the ballpark. Arkansas is like the first D1 basketball program to score 115 points or more, have 10 or fewer turnovers, and lose the game. It's been like 40 years since something like that happened.
They had 7 turnovers. 7 turnovers in what? 60 minutes.
60 minutes.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
That is hard to lose a game like that when you're scoring and not turning it over. I don't know exactly what that number is, but I'm here to tell you that doesn't happen very often, that you play like that.
Sure.
And they played great. They played great on the road, tough atmosphere. Wasn't it a tough atmosphere?
And a cup guy, the guy's shooting, 50 points, 49 points?
49
got a guy
points.
on the road filling it up for that. It was like Pete Maravich out there last night.
And they lose. That's a credible win.
Calipari went over the stat sheet at the end of the game. They pretty much won the stat sheet. Kind of like Alabama and Oklahoma and Norman back last fall in football. But the stat sheet doesn't matter. And the game could have gone either way. There's no doubt about it. You could tell going into the overtimes. It's, the team with the ball last, which was Arkansas, they just missed 2 shots there at the end of the game that would have taken it to triple overtime. But, hey, that doesn't matter. It's who had the most points at the end of the night. I also wonder, and I'm sure there's some media guy that has looked it up. I just hadn't seen it yet. Has Alabama ever played a game with this many points scored by both teams? To me, that's amazing. Was it 232 that was scored last night?
232.
That's amazing. That's like an NBA game, like an all-star NBA game. That's incredible.
I think the over-under was 181 and a half.
Sheesh.
They blew that out of the water. All I'm saying about that, I have no dog in the fight. I don't love Alabama, Arkansas. It was just.
It was a good game.
It may have been the best game to watch on television, just the way it looked. And I didn't watch it on television. I was doing my own game. I saw the clips and everything. The way that featured college basketball at its best, at its most competitive in the SEC, it's going to be hard to beat a game like that for the rest. That may be the game of the year in college basketball.
It was a good one. And I did not stay up. Maybe some of our viewers and listeners that are night owls. I'm sure Scott Van Pelt on his show probably talked a lot about it since the NBA wasn't on last night. That's right. Another big good shot in the arm for the Tide. You didn't have to compete with the NBA last night when it came to highlight time. So I'm sure that they got a lot of run on SVP and all the other late night sports shows. So good for them. I have heard, there again, Bama wins. I'm hearing, airplane hangar, and crowd looked pretty good last night. I got to tell you, I was a little surprised. 6 o'clock tip, Greek night, bar specials. Man, they showed up. I got to tip my cap. I was a little surprised.
Way Offsides Jeff confirms, he on the chat line, he said, I'm not a Coleman Coliseum fan by any means, but that place answered the bell last night.
I think so too, Jeff. I was impressed. Talked to some people that were there, said it was incredible.
And my buddy Kevin Sumrall says, how many times did John look up at the ice? Let's not even do that. Let's not even take away from that, because you'll get John worked up about, let's not. It was a great game, good atmosphere, tip of the cap to Alabama.
To answer your question, I did notice it a couple of times down the floor, but the game was so good that my attention wasn't directed to that area up there that I complain about all the time. I did notice it a couple of trips down the floor, but more times than not, I was watching the action in between the lines. So
and you can't say anymore about the quality of a basketball game than that. If that keeps John's attention over looking up there and going, then that must have been a great basketball game.
Hey, for the record, I've got a different coffee cup today for you viewers out there that wondering what. Now, if you want to send in some coffee cups and let me highlight them and profile them on the show, I'll be more than happy to do it.
This is how John gets Bosco. This is how John gets Alaga or whatever. Don't fall for this.
This was
this is how he gets free
yesterday
stuff.
Was the Lions Club, Barry. Today's the Kiwanis Club. The Kiwanis Club gave me this mug years ago, and it's a great mug to drink coffee out of. But if you'd like me to spotlight your civic organization or business or whatever, heck, I'll even drink out of an Auburn mug if you send one. Believe I will. Yeah.
This is just blatant, just pandering. He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. Lots to get to today. Again, no Jason Caldwell. He's under the weather. We hope he gets better. We will have Rodney Orr, the Tiger Insider, brought to you by the Destin Connection Seafood Market. And boy, are we looking forward to our guy Bart Heisch, our Hoops Insider. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Ram Truck Month is here at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume CDJR dealer. New Rams, 19 grand off or 0% for 6 years. And heavy duties, 14 grand off. Backed by Ram's 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Only at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. The President's Day sales event is on at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume CDJR dealer. Grand Cherokees under 27 grand or up to 15 grand off. Wranglers, 14 grand off. And Gladiators, 16 grand off. Only at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Hey, bro, weirdest thing is happening at the game. This guy sitting next to me says, "You're our good luck charm." Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown. Now his entire family wants to buy me Bud Lights. I think I'm some kind of a football prophet. Talk soon. The team needs me.
Anything for Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Love is in the air, and so is your chance to win during Victoryland Casino's BMW and 25K giveaway. Drive away in a brand new BMW or win your share of $25,000 in free play. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Stop by the Players Club and fall in love with this month's exciting free play promotions. There's more ways to win at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino is located off I-85, exit 22 in Shorter, Alabama. Drawings February 27th and 28th. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
Okay, welcome back in. About 22 minutes past the hour here on this Thursday, Longshore and McKnight, our River Region Straw text line hopping today. Really appreciate everybody jumping on and commenting, either whether it's commenting towards Barry and myself or a little conversation amongst the group there. We always encourage that. Hey, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell your friends. We really appreciate it. Also, remember, we're live 7 to 9 every weekday morning, but that doesn't matter. You can catch us on your schedule. It's your schedule, and you can catch us anytime on YouTube, Facebook, yellowhammernews.com. We're on Instagram, X, Spotify, Apple Tunes, all over the place. So many people checking us out on so many different platforms out there. Whatever one you like is most convenient, you can watch and or listen at your convenience. Just type in Longshore and McKnight on the search bar, and we will pop up.
Yep. We've talked before. To me, I thought at the time that the best college game of the year was that Arizona game they had at Fog Allen. What was it, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago? That was incredible. 2 top 5 teams or whatever.
Yep.
This one last night, Alabama and Arkansas. I don't know about the quality of basketball, because I don't think Alabama's going to win the national championship or anything. I don't think Arkansas is either, but I think Arizona or Kansas might. But that was just incredible. Just how, they never stopped.
Yeah.
I mean, Alabama was not great offensively in the first half, but, man, they get over and over and over just big shots and stops. Believe it or not, in a 117 to 115 game, there were stops out there. Auburn, meanwhile, that's a horrendous loss for Auburn. Stephen Pearl's right. He said that's the worst loss I've ever been associated with, because they fought so hard to get back in it. I still can't get over Josh Hubbard for Mississippi State setting a school record for threes in a game in the first half.
Huh.
I mean,
yeah.
that's at some point, do you take a timeout? Do you have like the under 8 media timeout? And over in the Auburn huddle, they're saying, hey, what do you say we try to stop that guy from shooting threes? I think he was 9 for 12 on three-pointers in the first half. It was a game they absolutely could not have lost. There's a section of fans who don't mind that loss. There's a guy I know who's grateful, I guess, but he saw it coming. Range Pro. My pro tip Wednesday play was an easy winner. State plus 4.5. Mississippi State was a 4.5-point dog.
You go Range game. Pro.
He says wrong team favored.
Yeah. You go Range Pro. Good stuff there. Matter of fact, we got some great news we're going to pass along a little later about the Destin Connection Seafood Market when Rodney joins us. But yeah, Range Pro gave us that one yesterday. Loved State in that game. I'm sure he really loved them at halftime. Was biting the fingernails a little bit in the second half, but he had faith. He knew what was happening. Yep. Also, our man Daryl on our Longshore McKnight email inbox. It's longshoreandmcknight@gmail.com. Daryl says, thank you, Phantom, for picking the Hogs tonight. Well, Daryl, you're right. And we'll get into this more in the next hour. But it kind of played out like it was when Alabama hosted Texas A&M a couple of weeks ago. Bama wins the game, but they don't cover the spread. More on that later in the program. But Daryl, thanks for the little shout out there. You know, it's nice when the Phantom gets a little love. I will say that.
All right. So
let me go back to Stephen Pearl.
Yes. So, worst loss he's ever been associated with at Auburn. Let's point this out. Mississippi State is not very good.
Yes. Or the lack of defense, I should say. He's been
and they've been terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been harping on the lack of defense. So,
yes.
Hubbard of Mississippi State, if I'm looking at this correctly, had more points on his own than Auburn had.
In the first half. 35 for him individually. Auburn had 33 as a team.
What do you think that now? Did they interview Stephen Pearl walking into the locker room at halftime? I'm just wondering because usually I'm not in the car in the driveway at half.
He's only usually there listening near the very end of an Auburn game.
Yeah.
Ooh, so let me skip out there. You know, wearing his boxers.
That I hear. If he's the guy doing it, wolf. Anyway, what do you think his halftime speech was like? Hey, fellas, one guy's put 35 on us, and we ain't scored as a team but 33. What the hell are y'all doing?
Yeah.
Probably a little bit more spicier than that. But I can't, with all these defensive deficiencies that they've been experiencing, and he's been upfront about it. He said, hey, we don't play defense very well. I got to think he was fuming.
Well, here's the deal. Is at halftime, whatever he said, it worked. I mean, they're down 16 at halftime. They scored 33 points in the first half. They score 52 in the second half. They hold Hubbard down a little bit. He only had one three-pointer in the second half.
Yeah.
But, you know, the 35 he scored in the first half was enough. So, I mean, the defense wasn't great in the second half, but Auburn fought back from 16 down. It's late. You're at the under or close to the under 4 media timeout in the second half, and Auburn's got a lead. Auburn led by 7.
How about that?
They had their biggest lead of the night.
Yeah.
With 4 minutes to go. And
Beautiful.
Andy and Randall, I don't know if it was Randall, but Andy's he's happy and all that. Yesterday was Andy's birthday, by the way.
Oh, happy birthday, Andy. Good job.
I talked to him a little bit.
That's awesome.
And they're hooping and hollering and everything. Up 7. Let's take a timeout here on the Auburn's.
The
place going crazy.
Sure it is.
a 7-point lead with 3 minutes and 56 seconds to go. Not only did it deteriorate, but Auburn ends up losing by 6. How is there a 13-point swing in 4 minutes? A team has a hard time scoring 13 in 4 minutes. I mean, it's not easy. I mean, people do it, but it ain't easy. Not only did they score 13, they scored 13 more than Auburn did. That is a crusher at the end when, they have Mississippi State has a 6-point lead late. And then Andy knows that they're about to lose this thing, and it went south in the first half, but it went south so fast and so completely in the final 4 minutes of the second half that it had to be just absolutely decimating to Auburn.
You know what else is decimating, Barry, is when you're running out to the driveway and you turn your vehicle on, and with all these new gadgets and high-tech stuff, the screens start lighting up, and it kind of takes a minute. So back in the old days, when you'd crank the car up, the radio immediately came on. Well, now I got to let all these systems set, these lights come on, and all these computers to reboot and all that kind of crap. And I'm going,
John's like, come on, let's go.
What are we waiting on? I am missing radio gold here. And then, of course, the radio finally comes on. I got it on XM satellite. I got to switch it over to FM or wherever. And I'm dealing with all that. I mean, I'm wasting a good 30, 40 seconds just getting the dadgum station on the radio. It's unbelievable.
But when he did listen to it on the Auburn Sports Network with all the bells and whistles and technology and whooshing and beeping, he was able to listen to it in HD at the very end.
I don't have an HD radio in my vehicle. I told you that was a fad. That was never going to work. I told our engineer years ago. He rolled in there, hey, you guys are on HD. I said, well, the only problem, nobody's got an HD receiver. Doesn't matter. Put us on FM.
Yeah.
You walked out, stormed out. Now, what can I do to make this guy happy? I looked out, stuck my head down the door and said, nothing. So, and then you know what happened, Barry? But when it finally got going, well, we'll be right back after this Dixie Crystal timeout. I went, you got to be kidding me.
Well,
can't get a break.
I cannot begin to tell you how bad of a loss that was for Auburn, how badly that injured. And people are making jokes. I get Bob from Pike Road because this is what Bob from Pike Road.
Yeah.
He's quoting the Bible now. Noted basketball aficionado Bob from Pike Road is crash talking Auburn. Huge win for Alabama, Bob. But people are saying, well, I guess it's the NIT. Listen, people, Auburn is 2 games.
No,
they need to play better. Auburn hasn't won in forever. They need to win some games. If they don't turn that around, they ain't even going to make the NIT, people. I'm telling you, that was I hope you're understanding this. That's a bad loss.
Was that like a quad 4 loss or something? Was it that bad?
No, it's a quad 1. It's a quad 1 loss. But if you look right now, that's 5 straight losses. And this is again for Auburn after 4 straight wins that included
Florida
at Ole Miss, at Florida when Florida was before they really started rolling. Auburn wins in Gainesville. What was it? 3 weeks ago.
How about that?
They beat Texas, but they have lost 5 in a row.
So
after winning 4 in a row, they've got people suspended and all that stuff. It's rough.
Will I see empty seats in Neville Arena Saturday night for the 7:30 tip?
No, you won't. No? And here's why. I've told this story before, and this used to gall me whenever I was covering Auburn full time. Back at old Beard Eve's Coliseum, which was hardly ever full. Yeah. It was full for 2 games. It was full when Alabama came in, obviously, and it was full when Kentucky came in. And I'm there, I'm covering the game, I'm sitting on press row and all that kind of stuff. And my seat on press row was right across from the visiting bench. Behind me used to be the student section in the sense that amongst the smattering of fans that were there, they were all students. But for the Kentucky game, the students behind me, it was all packed. And I'm thinking, the Auburn students are in it here for the for the Kentucky game? Wait, why, what? And so I was talking with some people back there during a break or something like that. And it turns out they were Auburn pharmacy students. And I mean dozens and dozens of them. You know, Auburn has a pharmacy school. It's very good.
Sure.
And they explained to me that they were Kentucky undergrads. Kentucky has a pre-pharmacy program. And so they get their pre-pharmacy degree from Kentucky, and then they go to Auburn for pharmacy school.
Okay.
And I mean, John, there must have been 70, 80 of them. And they're Auburn students, Auburn grad, or whatever you call pharmacy students. And they're screaming, Patino, put Timberlake in. Hey, we want to see, we want to see Richie Farmer.
Sure.
And I mean, they're paying tuition at Auburn. They're living in Auburn, going to school in Auburn. But, man, they got their UK logos on and everything and all that. So, yeah, it'll be a full house at Neville Arena on Saturday.
I always wondered, Barry, when I was in school.
I don't know if anybody's going to be camping out right now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there'll be Kentucky fans who will take Auburn, too.
Oh, yeah, sure. But, I've noticed some empty seats in Neville recently this year. So I'll be keeping an eagle eye out for that. You know, when I was in school in Tuscaloosa, and I don't know, had to go to the pharmacy to get some, I don't know, penicillin or something.
Ooh, we don't have to talk about that if you don't want to.
And I always wondered, is this pharmacist an Aub? Did he just get like transferred to Tuscaloosa from pharmacy school? It goes, ooh, of all places, I got to go there.
Yeah.
I always wondered about that because Auburn, great pharmacy school. And every time I walk into one, I always think, I was in Vegas one time and went into a Walgreens on the Strip. And I walked in there and I went, I wonder if this pharmacist is an Aub. Looked over there to see if he had his diploma on the wall or something,
There's a Walgreens
on the Strip? Oh, yeah. There's a McDonald's on the Strip. You kidding me? Oh, yeah. They got everything on the Strip.
Well, I know that, but I mean, I figured they'd have everything in terms of Vegas.
I was in a
Walgreens 2 blocks back, right?
Well, it's funny you say that. 2 blocks. Well, 2 blocks in Vegas is like 2 miles. I'm looking out of my hotel room in Vegas. This years ago. And I don't know what I needed at the drugstore. Probably, no telling, some Alka-Seltzer Plus. But I looked out the window and I said, well, man, there's a Walgreens right there. I mean, I can walk down there to that Walgreens and get what I need, no problem. So I go down ground floor, walk out of the hotel, look down the Strip, and I went, ooh, this place looks a lot further than it did from my hotel room. That 2 blocks felt like 2 miles.
Yeah.
You get up in the air like that and look down, it looks a lot closer than it actually is. But, they got Walgreens, McDonald's.
I got
what else?
A buddy of mine who graduated from Auburn Pharmacy School, and he's talking to me about it right here. He said, yeah, isn't it funny that people are protesting saying you don't need to have your ID to vote, but you do to get Sudafed? I don't know why that works. I don't know how that happens. But
yeah, you do. And I'm a big Sudafed fan. I've had some nasal issues earlier this week, and that Sudafed will knock it out.
But I mean, you got to
Sudafed, people try to make meth with it or something.
Yeah, you got to have like your birth certificate and proof of residency or something like that. You got to get Sudafed, but they expect you to walk in and be able to vote. Yeah. And let's take a break. Again, no Jason Caldwell today, which is regrettable because in replacement of Jason Caldwell, I may with some license here read from his piece that he wrote. Sure. Again, he's woke up and texted me. He's sick. It's officially panic time for Auburn basketball. You think John, who pays his $9.95 and is kind of rethinking it a little bit now that Philip's no longer with us, he's going to pass through that and not read it's officially panic time for hang on.
Well, Barry,
he makes some good points. We may get to that in a moment.
And I'm trying to, it's been tough. I got to tell you, it's been tough.
Yeah. All right.
And it's days like today that I would have woken up, rubbed my eyes, put my feet on the floor, stretched out, and went, man, I can't wait to read what Philip's got to say today. It's been tough.
Drag my comb across my head. Yeah. This was such a big win. This was such a big win for Alabama that the Tiger Insider message board, only a very small contingent acknowledges that Auburn lost. EGD4 says, I want Auburn versus Troy in the NIT. Well, I hope Troy wins. Troy's in first place in the Sun Belt. Tournament's coming up in a couple of weeks.
Alabama might be playing
to go
Troy
to the
in the NCAA tournament. Well,
yeah, EGD4 says, I want Auburn versus Troy in the NIT. Roll Tom says, at Troy. Yeah, that would be Auburn's. Alabama's played Troy in the WNIT in Troy before.
Pretty good.
Very good. Yes. So more to come in a moment. We got to take a break.
Yep.
It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry is Central Alabama's best-known jewelry store. Their location at 8163 Vaughn Road in Peppertree is conveniently located adjacent to Chappie's Deli. At Marguerite's, they have every jewelry item imaginable because they make it. They really make it. From rings, necklaces, bracelets, earrings, and much, much more. Marguerite's can also repair, clean, and rework any jewelry item that you want to bring back to life. Whether you're on a budget or have no budget at all, Marguerite's has all types of jewelry for everyone. Go by and see them today or call 270-0074.
Hey, where's the beer guy? Bud Light here? You get a Bud Light? Bud Light? I'm here, Bud Light. Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light where? Bud Light here? Oh, Bud Light there. I missed that because of you. You did not miss that play because of me. Tough to stop talking this way. Yeah. It's actually kind of fun. Hey, I got your Bud Light. Oh, nice. Never mind. Anything for the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light. What'd I miss? I have no idea.
The Destin Connection Seafood Market at 3750 Norman Bridge Road in Montgomery has the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of America. I'm talking red snapper and grouper, all sizes of Gulf shrimp, jumbo lump crab meat and crab claws, Louisiana Bay oysters, and New Bedford scallops. They are a full-service seafood market and kitchen serving po' boys, dinners, and sandwiches. You know, many well-known restaurants in the river region purchase their seafood from the Destin Connection because they know it's the absolute best. Call ahead and your order will be ready for pickup. The Destin Connection Seafood Market, 3750 Norman Bridge Road. Call 288-4272. That's 288-4272. Well, Barry, you've piqued my interest. Before we get to the starting five, which I believe LSU is our team, we'll get to them in just a moment. A series we started earlier this week where we're looking at the first 5 games of all 16 SEC football programs. You got to get out of the gate hot, and that's what we've been doing. LSU is our team today. We'll do that in a moment. But I did read Jason's column during the quick commercial time out there, Barry. And I think Auburn can beat LSU and Ole Miss. Going to Oklahoma, just, road trip. I mean, it's winnable, but you're on the road, got to play Alabama on the road. Teams look like they're heading in opposite directions as of this morning.
Yep.
To me, the worst I see, I don't know how to read Kentucky. I really don't.
I really don't. That's a great point. I'm the same way with you. They could look like a national champion, or they could look like athletes in action. And I don't know what the difference is. It's just how the mindset they come out on the court every
so
game.
Ole Miss and LSU to me are very winnable. The other 3, not so. I don't know. Like I said, Oklahoma on the road, if they were playing them at home, I'd feel better. Kentucky, I can't read them very well. There again, Alabama's playing good at this point. So, I think Auburn could drop 3 of the next 5 if they don't tighten up.
And that's the focus. That's the focus. You can sit here, the fans can sit there and look at the schedule and say, okay, I think we can win that one. That would put us at this. If we lose that one, we need to win that could put us at this. You don't need to worry about that. They've lost 5 games in a row in the SEC. That hasn't happened since 2015, 2016 for a team that Jason points out lost 20 games. You can sit there and go over and dissect the schedule. That ain't what you need to be focused. You need to figure out how to play better. Jason points this out. Auburn, again, was leading. I've said this before. Auburn was leading in the game by 7 with 3:56 to go.
Wow.
Mississippi State scored 18 points in 3 minutes and 43 seconds, which is difficult. The final 3:43, which is difficult to do.
How many of those 18 were three-pointers?
That I don't know, but it had to be a few. I mean, they scored a bunch.
So
had to be. Auburn made just one bucket in that final bit, and there you go. Auburn's not in. Auburn will not be in unless they catch a hot streak. Now it's time to panic. Auburn needs, Jason says, Auburn needs at least 3 of the final 5 SEC games to have any shot. They probably need to win 4 of their final 5. John, playing the way they are right now, and you know as well as I do, Mississippi State ain't no world beater.
No.
It ain't going to happen. It ain't.
Well, Gary, I tell you, later today, I will get in touch with my daughter and see if she has eliminated Auburn from her bracket as of today.
Yeah.
And if she has, then you're in trouble.
Yeah, no
but
kidding.
If you still got
that's what
Auburn in the bracket.
Right.
You there's hope.
For a young lady who finished 7th in the ESPN pick contest where they had millions, she's smart enough not to have Auburn in the bracket right now.
Yeah, I got to think she probably doesn't have them in there today.
Right.
It's interesting, Barry. I'm a little concerned about her. I'm very proud of her. She started a new job with a new company that she's very excited about. It's the same type business, but these people came after her, which made me very proud that she's doing good work, and they saw enough in her that they wanted her to be a part of their team, and so she's excited about it. But I thought, this isn't taken away from your bracket preparation time, is it? So, no, I got it figured out. Don't worry.
Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah. John's daughters are sharp as tacks. I'm telling you, those girls are gonna. Those girls. One of them's gonna be
they
president.
Get it from their mother. That's what I always say, and it's very true. No doubt about it.
All right. So, great young ladies. Now we're at the point of the show where it's tradition. I guess this is the point right now where we go through the starting 5.
The starting 5. Yeah.
All right.
Something we kicked around earlier today. We're going in alphabetical order, and we started at Alabama.
The starting 5 games in the upcoming SEC football schedule.
Correct.
Not the starting 5 players like you have in basketball. And we're not going to dissect the entire schedule. We'll do that later on, closer to football season. But we are going to look at the starts these teams are projected to make, how important these games are, the starting 5 games of the upcoming schedule. Last year, LSU, they ended up with a 3-game losing streak in the middle of the year.
Yeah.
It was, they lost at Vanderbilt.
Yep.
Then they came and they weren't happy with Brian Kelly then at all. Then they come back home, night game, Baton Rouge, ABC against Texas A&M, and the Aggies score 49 on them. LSU loses that game bad. It was 49-25, but it was worse than that.
Yeah, it was tough.
Texas A&M beat the brakes off of LSU. Then an off week before they have to go to Alabama. It was during that off week that they told Brian Kelly to hit the road without cause, which gives him the full guaranteed buyout. They paid him they will pay him $54 million over the next 6 years, which is twice as much as the fabled buyout that Auburn gave Gus Malzahn.
I don't think I remember the governor of Louisiana not being very happy about that either.
We wasn't very happy with the athletic director, Scott Woodward.
For a state that has had some financial difficulties, I can see how the governor wouldn't like something like that happening.
$54 million to get Brian Kelly out. So to wrap up the preview, they spent $1 jillion to get Lane Kiffin.
How about that?
LSU has spent a load of money to try to get football right. And believe me, as we know from many years past, LSU fans aren't the most patient out there. If Kiffin comes in this year with all the ballyhoo and all the money they have spent, there's going to be a lot of people that are really looking hard at the Clemson game, at the Ole Miss game, or the Texas A&M game, not necessarily the Louisiana Tech game or the McNeese State
Yeah, let's. I think Gurn Jr.'s got the schedule. We can put it up on the screen here of what LSU will start out with this year, and this is what the Tiger schedule is looking like. You mentioned Clemson. That's a great non-conference game. A couple of Tigers getting together at Death Valley again.
Yes, at the LSU Death Valley, not the Clemson Death Valley. Clemson's got to get a new quarterback.
Why are they playing an in-state team? What are you people doing down there? I mean, come on, La Tech.
LSU will do it. LSU will do it. They'll play McNeese. They haven't played Tulane in a while. They'll play Northwestern State. They'll play Louisiana Lafayette. They'll do all that. And in LSU, Louisiana Tech in week 2, they'll be a Sun Belt team by this time next year. How about week 3? Can we spend a moment on our starting 5 and just reflect a little bit on what an absolute zoo it's going to be at Vaught Hemingway Stadium for the return of Lane Kiffin in week 3?
I got to say, Barry, it's primetime night action.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. Trinidad Chambliss is eligible again. Kiffin's got to come in there. They weren't real happy with him. Should I stay? Should I go? And at the last minute, taken off. He wanted to coach them at the very end through Ole Miss's college football playoff run. The Ole Miss athletic director says, no. We want the Ole Miss football coach to coach the Ole Miss football team. That's going to be a zoo. If we're previewing the starting 5 for LSU, you can probably take all the other games, and that includes the Texas A&M game next. You can put those all together, and all of them put together would not have as much meaning to LSU fans. As winning at Ole Miss by itself in week 3.
You got to know Ole Miss fans want to beat Kiffin something terrible. So that's going to be a great one. There again, the atmosphere at the Grove, Kiffin coming back should be incredible. A&M after that game, Barry, it is in Baton Rouge, but there again, you're coming off an emotional game. Win or lose, you got an emotional game. Then you got A&M coming back, a team that embarrassed your LSU program last year. And
college
then
football playoff team,
playing another in-state school. I don't know what's going on down there. I mean, but looking at the first 5 out of the block, it would be incredible if LSU started 5-0. I just don't think that's going to happen. Somebody's going to trip them up. I'm looking at 4-1 after their first 5.
I'm looking at this. By the way, I have, let's say I have some per diem meal money from this basketball. I'm willing to put it on the table right now and bet that John could not tell you in what city McNeese State University is located. But the
Nacogdoches.
Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Is that
John,
where
I'm going to say this. Yeah.
Is La Tech in Ruston?
It is, yes.
At least
I'm here to tell you, Georgia's going to be good. I don't know about Alabama. We're looking around elsewhere, teams that'll be better. I think Texas is going to be really good, but probably will underperform again. Texas A&M, I got Texas A&M once again making some serious noise in the SEC. I like where they are.
Okay.
But, John, the other one that I think is going to make a huge step forward is LSU. LSU, you heard it here first, they're going to be good. Their transfer portal class was outstanding. Kiffin's always going to work the transfer portal. John, LSU's going 5-0. Including a victory over Texas A&M. The key there is that game is going to be in Baton Rouge. They're going to be all those liquored up Cajuns and all that stuff. This is probably my strongest take on our entire starting 5. LSU under Kiffin is going to be 5-0 to start, and they're going to be pushing right at the top of the SEC all year long.
5-0 out of the gate with Clemson, Ole Miss, and A&M, 3 of the first 5. That would be impressive. Then you kind of look, well, heck, did they win it all? I mean, Barry, they do have to go to Auburn in late October. I don't want to jump ahead of myself. Oh, look at that. Then an open date, and they go to Tuscaloosa. Those things never happen. But they do play Alabama.
They had an open date last week before Alabama. That's when they decided to fire Brian Kelly so they have an excuse. Well, we lost to Alabama because we had Frank Wilson as our interim coach or whatever.
They play Alabama, Texas, and Tennessee in a 3-week period.
Yeah.
Of course, the LSU and Texas games are in. LSU's got a good home schedule. Clemson, A&M, Alabama, and Texas. That's pretty good. But the starting five, Barry thinks they're going undefeated in the first 5. Yep. I don't think so. I think they're dropping one. Either Clemson, Ole Miss, or A&M will beat LSU, and they'll start out 4-1.
He will not have the year Joe Burrow had. I'm not sure anybody will have the year again that Joe Burrow had throwing the football whenever he transferred from Ohio State, and he was okay his first year, but he was injured, and then he had the Heisman Trophy winning the national championship in 2019. But Sam Leavitt, the new transfer quarterback from Arizona State, is going to light it up. Leavitt is a good quarterback. Started at Michigan State, then he went to Arizona State, where they
wait a minute, hold on.
Great game with
wasn't there another school in the SEC that had a quarterback that transferred from Michigan?
We're not doing this. Not doing this. We've already done Auburn's first 5.
Oh,
this is LSU, John. Focus.
I just thought Michigan State transfer quarterbacks really hadn't panned out as well as a lot of people thought they would.
With the obligatory oblique Auburn
what's his name
dig
again?
there,
Leavitt, you said?
Sam Leavitt. You're going to be saying his name a lot.
Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary for the White House, is he?
All right, so we conference out. We've got the obligatory John making some sort of convoluted comment about his last name. All right, have we hit the Longshore trifecta yet today? No.
Wait a minute. We said anything about Cam? I don't think so. Not yet.
No. But we did speak about a transfer quarterback not panning out at Auburn, so there is that. More to come in just one. Yeah, way offsides. Jeff points out.
Yeah.
He says the last quarterback from Arizona State to transfer to LSU did pretty well. That's exactly right. Won the Heisman Trophy. Now the starting quarterback for the Washington Commanders. So yes, that may be an even better reference than John trying to go Peyton Thorne on us. Jaden Daniels, maybe the second coming of him. Well. So that's my take. LSU, I'm no LSU fan, believe me.
Man,
but they're going to be 5-0 with a difficult schedule. Telling you, Lane Kiffin to LSU is Clemson, perfect.
Ole Miss and A&M, 3 of the first 5, and Barry says they're winning them all. Going to sweep them.
Here's the thing. The Lane Kiffin thing at LSU is either going to be spectacular or it's going to be an absolute flame out. And he'll start spectacularly regardless or not. Remember when we had Neil McCready on from Rebel Grove and people were talking about Kiffin to Auburn? Remember that, John? This is back when Freeze got hired, way back when. And McCready, who we both like and respect, he said, look, Auburn needs a homespun guy. They need a Pat Dye. They need somebody who'll get out in the population and shake hands. They need a Sonny Smith. That's what resonates at Auburn. Lane Kiffin is not that guy. Kiffin is not, kissing babies and shaking hands and telling stories at the Camellia Club on a Wednesday over a chicken lunch.
Yep.
He is by himself. He doesn't like being around other people. He likes sitting there and tweeting and watching film. That's what he does. I don't know that that's going to go over in Baton Rouge. Although Saban wasn't that guy either, and Saban, won a title there and all that kind of stuff. Kiffin is not a man of the people like LSU wants, so it's either going to go really great or it's going to go really, really
well, you're
bad.
right. I mean, like you mentioned, Neil McCready said it's Lane Kiffin football. It's not Ole Miss football. They knew it. They accepted it. That's fine with us. You're putting us on a plateau we haven't been on in a long, long time. Well, I think that's why it hurt him so bad when he ended up leaving.
No doubt.
I think, Barry, I almost get the sense that LSU people, and I know they're a proud program, but I think they know what they're getting with Kiffin. Hey, man, it's all about me. Do I love LSU? No, not really, but I love their money. And I'm going to wear their purple and gold, and I'm going to give them the big LSU rah-rah. But it's, no, it's about me. And, I mean, in saying that, Barry, was Nick Saban kind of like that? Maybe he wasn't as boisterous and upfront and vocal about it, but it was about Nick Saban. And it was the way I'm going to coach and the way I'm going to do it. And this is how we're going to win. And if you don't like it, I can leave. But I don't want to be, going on the rubber chicken circuit, and I'm not going to talk to every quarterback club, and I'm not
all
doing
the
this.
down
I'm not
there.
doing all that crap. I'm here to win. So in some regard, I think it was Nick Saban football. He just wasn't as vocal and boisterous about it as Lane Kiffin has been.
So we'll see. I just believe in what he's done early. I think he's hit all the things early. The transfer class is the best in the country.
I said this,
which is what he does.
When Kiffin went to Florida Atlantic or wherever he was,
that's where it was.
Talking with some Bama people that were connected, and Lane Kiffin's name came up, and they knew it would be different. But at the time, hey, I'd hire Lane Kiffin as our next coach if Saban steps down. I mean, Lane Kiffin was thought there again, had some off the field and whatever, and boisterous, and maybe didn't fit the mold. But in this day and age, they realized the guy was a winner and he could get it done. And there was some love for Kiffin.
Well, people talk about the money. He left Ole Miss for LSU for the money. Tell me if you agree with this, John. He left Ole Miss for LSU, even though Ole Miss, made it to the quarterfinals of the playoff. He left Ole Miss because he realized he can't win a national championship there.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Okay.
And I think Nick Saban basically
100%
told him that. You're going into a situation where you can win a championship. The road is a lot easier in Baton Rouge than it is in Oxford, Mississippi.
And that's why you should take the job, Lane, and he did. Well, we're at the top of the hour. Already hour number 2 of the program.
Way. Wow.
Man, we buzzed right through that first hour. Coming up in a moment, Rodney Orr, the Tiger Insider, is next with Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level, and the stakes, oh, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The Destin Connection Seafood Market at 3750 Norman Bridge Road in Montgomery has the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of America. I'm talking red snapper and grouper, all sizes of Gulf shrimp, jumbo lump crab meat and crab claws, Louisiana Bay oysters, and New Bedford scallops. They are a full-service seafood market and kitchen serving po' boys, dinners, and sandwiches. Many well-known restaurants in the river region purchase their seafood from the Destin Connection because they know it's the absolute best. Call ahead and your order will be ready for pickup. The Destin Connection Seafood Market, 3750 Norman Bridge Road. Call 288-4272. That's 288-4272. Okay, as we do each and every week in this slot, our man Rodney Orr, the Tiger Insider, joins us, and he is brought to you exclusively by the Destin Connection Seafood Market. Going to tell you some exciting news about Destin Connection here in just a moment. But Rodney, welcome in. Hope you're doing well.
Man, I'm doing well, guys. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. I can imagine Tuscaloosa's a buzz still after that basketball game last night. What a contest, what an atmosphere, what a showcase for Nate Oates' program, Rodney.
It was crazy. Yeah, It was, watching Alabama basketball through the years, I don't remember a better game Certainly not a better game in Tuscaloosa. There have been some good ones.
Yeah.
But that was really exciting. Here's the funny thing, guys. Of course, TiderInsider.com with about 5 minutes left in the first half was not in a good place.
No.
And I'm getting text messages and calls and rants and raves about how this team is, they're not this and they're not that. And then you saw what happened. Down by 10 at halftime, they come back to win the game. They were down by 14 at one point, but to be able to come back and win the game the way they did in that fashion was dramatic for sure.
Yeah, second half team. They played really well in the second half in their last 4 or 5 games. Coach Oates wasn't happy going into the locker room at halftime. His interview with Brian Pasink was one for the ages. He was letting everybody know he was not happy at all. I said his team's defensive performance was disastrous, that it was just terrible. He was fuming.
Yeah, and, again, when you're playing a team like Arkansas, this Acuff guy is a phenom. Darius Acuff.
Goodness.
I mean, he's phenomenal. Malik Thomas is really good. I mean, they've got a good team. I mean, they shoot the ball extremely well, to say the least. They did last night, and it was just kind of thinking back, it reminded me a little bit of some of those Alabama-Arkansas games when Nolan Richardson and Wimp were going at each other, when they would race up and down the court. And, obviously Nolan Richardson had a team that was loaded, and so did Alabama. But, again, it just got into one of those track meets last night, and that really kind of expected, because Alabama averages around 90 points a game. Arkansas averages around 90, about 88 a game. So these are two teams that when they get together, it's gonna be explosive, and it was last night.
Well, we are doing this on the program, and we made a note. John has started this, I guess, earlier in the week, maybe last week. It was after we visited with you last. A feature we do on the program called the Starting Five, where we go over not the whole football schedule, but the first 5 to see how they start. Alabama's first 5 are East Carolina, at Kentucky, Florida State, home against South Carolina, and then at Mississippi State. That's the first 5. Which one of those, Rodney, in your estimation, is the key game in that opening 5-game stretch, do you think?
All 5? And
out of the
Barry, the only reason I say that is I think if they lose one of those 5, it could get dicey. It could get dicey because what happens in the second half of the schedule, second part. But I'll tell you what. So you asked that question, I'm not going to dodge it.
Okay.
I got 2 of those that might surprise you. People might say, well, Florida State. But I'm going to say Kentucky or Mississippi State. And
both on the
reason I say Kentucky is this. I was talking to someone last night that's in Texas that has a lot of contacts around the country, college football. And he kind of surprised me because I don't keep up with Kentucky much. But I knew they've got the new coach. It's really highly thought of, Will Stein. And so he said, some college coaches say, watch out for Kentucky being a really improved team this year because they did well in the portal. This new coach is really good. So you go on the road in your second game with a young quarterback, you never know.
Yeah.
So I'll say Kentucky. You can mark that one down, John and Barry. And then I'm going to say Mississippi State and over in Starkville. And again, how do you really figure all these teams out now with all the new players that they have? So we'll see, but I'm going to say those. I will go with Kentucky number 1 there.
That's interesting, Rodney, because I'm kind of thinking South Carolina, Beamer on the hot seat. They played Alabama well, had Alabama beat last year in Columbia.
They did.
That, even though it is in Tuscaloosa, that one kind of stands out. I don't think Florida State, now that Gus is gone, I don't think you got to worry about Florida State as much as maybe you would have if he was still around. But the Mississippi State game, I think, is interesting because, of course, the next week Georgia comes to town. There's a little look ahead, particularly if they're 4-0 going into their 5th game in Starkville. And I think, Rodney, they better be 5-0 because with Georgia, Tennessee, A&M, and LSU, their next 4, they're not winning all those.
Yeah, I mean, because if they were to lose one of those first 5, it's a chance. Hey, look, you look at those 4 games coming up. That's a tough gauntlet. Of course, they went through a
Right.
gauntlet this last year, but all of a sudden you could be looking at what if you lose, one of those first games, and then you lose 3 of those 4. All of a sudden, you got 4 losses, and you know what's coming. Hey, and I'm going to tell you this. I'll make you a prediction right now, and it's kind of out there a little bit, but don't be surprised if Auburn's a lot better this year. And especially near the end of the season, I think they'll improve as the first year goes on. And the part of the reason I say that, or I'm kind of jumping ahead a little bit, is the quarterback. He's got a lot of experience. He's got experience in this system with this coaching staff, and I think he's going to bring a little stability that they haven't had at that position in a few years.
Yeah.
So. That's just so Auburn coming in here, that last game could be a real challenge.
Yeah, I'm with you. By the time that game's played, they could be feeling good about themselves. And I know this is an easy answer, but they can't go anywhere but up. I mean, it's been a rough 5 or 6 years over there.
Yeah, it really has. And so it'll be interesting. Then again, there's a couple of things that I think if they come together, this Alabama team could surprise some people. And what I mean by surprise, people are kind of, they're not high on Alabama right now. I mean, they think, Alabama could be a 4th, 5th, 6th place team in the SEC next year.
I mean,
and
don't look at the man Joel Klatt, because he is.
Yeah, he really, and he laid the wood to them. But I'll tell you this. To be honest with you, some of his observations are pretty right on. I mean, he was being honest. I mean, Alabama's got some work to do. But I'll say this. Again, if one of these quarterbacks, and I really like Austin Mack, so I'm not discounting him as a possibility. But if Keelan Russell is who we hear he is, he gets hot. He gets on a roll. They're going to emphasize the run game more. That is going to happen. Now, whether or not they're going to be successful at it, I don't know.
But they will emphasize it. Yeah.
But I'm telling you, if they get that offensive line together. Now, with that said, too, John and Barry, there's not going to be a lot of experience on that offensive line.
Well,
but if they can get that, if they can get it together, and if Keelan Russell kind of is that Bryce Young type guy in 2021, watch out. They could surprise some people.
Yeah. If they come back from Kentucky, like you said, which could be the key game early in the first 5, and the whole nation's talking about, man, did you see Keelan Russell and what he did up in Lexington, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But you said this, and I wanted to follow up, and you've already followed up on me. You said, look, Alabama's got some work to do, and I think we all agree most of that work has to do with the line of scrimmage, right?
I'd say both sides, actually. Yes, on the offensive line, you've got one guy coming back, Michael Carroll, at right tackle. Think about this. So Michael Carroll last year had to have Wilkin Formby line up next to him to help him with who to block. Okay, that's not a knock on Michael Carroll. That's not necessarily unusual for a true freshman to need help. Saban did that before with some of the guys he had, young players. But so he's their most experienced guy at Alabama in the SEC. Then you've got William Sanders at left guard, who had about 200 snaps, close to 200 snaps. Other than that, you've got to rely on Rayson Delgado, who is he had nearly 1,400 snaps at center for Cal Poly. So you got to hope he comes through either at center or guard, one of the guards. You got maybe Caden Strayhorn, the transfer from Michigan. You got to hope maybe he comes through. You got to have some guys come through. At left tackle, Javen James, the transfer from Mississippi State, has 9 starts there last year for Mississippi State. Does Jackson Lloyd, the highly touted freshman from last year that redshirted, does he take that step? So the line of scrimmage defensively, you're replacing 3 starters up front. So there's a big chore there. I think they've got to run the ball better, and I think they've got to be able to stop the run or slow down the run against some of these physical teams that they play.
The guys that are coming in on the defensive line, Rodney, I'm hearing, and just curious if you're hearing something similar, that this coaching staff is really high on this group. You saying that's maybe not the case?
No, I think it certainly is. I'm saying they've got to prove it. They've got to come through. We've got to see it. And I heard some things last year coming out of that building too. Okay. And I saw what happened when they flopped against Florida State. There was a lot of bravado coming out about how good this team was, how close they were. And guess what? They got on a roll. Give them credit. They went through the gauntlet and did a tremendous job, winning 8 in a row before they lost to Oklahoma. So I say all that to just say, we'll see. But Terrence Green on the interior, Kedrick Bentley-Jones, those two guys on the interior could be difference makers. You get Jeremiah Beeman back from injury. London Simmons was really good last year as a true freshman. I think he might get a look at James Smith's spot. And so Devin Tompkins, the transfer from USC, has a lot of athletic ability. He could be a disruptive guy. I think he's going to be an end. And then the kid from South Carolina, I just call him Des U. He's got a lot of pass rushing. He's got a lot of pass rushing skills. So, it's going to be interesting. I think they've got some players. We'll see if they can get it out of them.
Hey, folks, it's crawfish season, and it's a little late due to the cold temperatures, and your Central Alabama spot to get them is at Destin Connection Seafood Market in Montgomery, 3750 Norman Bridge Road. They have both spicy, boiled, and live crawfish available for you. So call ahead, place your order today for live crawfish, 288-4272. That's 288-4272. Pick them up for the weekend. Crawfish season is here, and the Destin Connection Seafood Market has them for you. Go by and see our friends, David Scott and the crew. Now, all right, Rodney, this time of year, it always starts happening. I'm already hearing it. I'm reading it on TI. I'm sure you've read it as well. And when we ask you about the starting 5 and what's left after that, I think you made an interesting point about, if they drop a game at Kentucky or to Mississippi State, what's going to start happening. Let's just look into our crystal ball. Who does Greg Byrne have in his desk drawer to call if things start heading south early in the 2026 football season?
Already? It's February.
John, the question might be who actually makes the call. I don't know. Listen, I think I will say this. I think Greg Byrne did a really thorough job. I don't think I know he did a thorough job of evaluating every coaching prospect out there. This was a multi-year endeavor that he took on with this coaching search when he hired DeBoer. And I do think DeBoer was probably the best available candidate. And listen, he's on the edge. And when I say on the edge, I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean, he is went 11-4. They won a playoff game. Not a bad season at all. Actually, a successful season, given how it started, especially. The question is, I don't think a lot of Alabama fans, and I understand that who was it yesterday? Chris Lowe, I think, was on Feinbaum and made the comment that Alabama donors aren't real happy with the way some of those games went, right? So I think that's the key. You cannot lose games by 2, 3, and 5 touchdowns and look unprepared, and you can't quit in the middle of the Indiana game. So, I think all of those things are things that people are really watching to see. Does Alabama keep that intensity week in and week out? Because it's a grind. You guys know that. And that's why Saban was so successful, was because each week, they were ready to play.
I think John has already set a Longshore and McKnight record for a number of nods during one Rodney Orr session. I mean, he was nodding hard on your comment about Kentucky and nodding hard about just now about this. Rodney's hitting all the right notes with us.
Barry, I was thinking, though, we had Paul on our program about 2 weeks ago. We said the same thing. You can't lose by 35. You can't lose by 21. You can't lose by 17. The donors don't like it. Nobody wrote that about us. Anyway, here's
well, John, I'm going to give you credit, man. You were first. I did not know that.
There you go.
Rodney is, and there again, a lot's going to change, but I'm just asking you today on the 19th of February, what do you think the odds are that D'Amico Ryans would be the next head football coach at Alabama?
Well, I don't know the odds. I will tell you this. There is a pretty large group of people that admire D'Amico quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that D'Amico would certainly be a guy that if he was interested in returning, he would be a strong candidate. Again, we're talking about this.
Sure.
I kind of almost feel bad talking about it because the board.
I get it.
But yes,
we're just having fun here, Coach. We're not running you down yet.
Yeah. So
easy, Kalen. Don't take it personal.
Yeah. So no, but I think D'Amico. I would be. Well, I know D'Amico would probably be honored. No, I don't know. I know he would be honored and thrilled to have the opportunity. I just don't know if he would want to make that step from NFL head coach down to college. You just don't know. Now, maybe someday he would. And hopefully there's some way they get some guardrails on this college football where we are right now, college athletics, because that even makes it a ton less attractive for a pro coach to come to college. And listen, there are former Alabama Saban assistants now in the NFL. And a lot of them say, I would never come back. Not all of them, but a lot of them have said, I will never come back to college football with the NIL on the portal ever.
Yeah.
And so, again, it's just not as attractive, obviously.
Yeah. We were talking earlier this week, the Northern Illinois coach, Thomas Hammock, who's been really good there. He leaves the head coaching job at Northern Illinois for an assistant job with the Seahawks. And everybody gets it, Rodney. The lifestyle, as much as anything. I don't think people realize just how much the current landscape of college football has impacted just the lifestyle for coaches these days, with constant re-recruiting of your team and constant portal evaluations and all that. More than ever, Rodney, it's a 24/7 enterprise being a collegiate coach.
No doubt. And listen, the kind of season DeBoer had in the NFL, if it was in the NFL, it'd have been in the playoffs. Nobody would be, at Alabama. Yeah. Now, I understand Alabama's kind of an outlier. It's one of the few programs that the expectation is almost perfection every single week. But again, the stress and the rules the way they are that make it even more difficult to be successful. It's like you said, there's no time off. There is no time off, and it can wear you down. And be honest with you. Look at Kalen DeBoer. You just see the wear and tear on him. If you've looked at him since the end of the season, he looks like it's. If I just look at him, and I'm not the only one. I hear this all the time. They talk about it on TigerInsider.com and different places. It looks like it's a job that's wearing on him a little bit.
I agree with you, and we talked about this earlier. Are you surprised, Rodney, that we've only heard from Kalen DeBoer one time since that Indiana game?
Yes, in a way, but based on some things I'm hearing, no. And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I think there's going to be. Now, again, I want to be clear. I don't know this, but I've heard this from someone I trust. I think we're going to have less opportunities in the spring with assistant coaches and different ones. And look, that's a good move in terms of if you're looking at it from Kalen DeBoer's perspective. I give him credit. He's made some changes, maybe not as many changes as some fans and some people think he should have made on his coaching staff. But he's made some changes that I think are going to be important. And I think he's maybe some of the operational things that they do, some of the access that they give. I think we're going to see him tighten up on that. And that's one thing, John and Barry, I would never be critical of him because any coach coming in from the outside has to learn this place.
Yep.
And it seems to me that if you watch Kalen DeBoer and some things he's doing, he's learning this place and he's taking some steps. So I do give him credit for that. I think those are some really good moves. And if he does limit some of the access, then I think personally, I think for him and what he's trying to achieve, that would be a good move.
Wow. Interesting stuff as always.
No doubt.
Rodney Orr at TigerInsider.com. Rodney, how do people access all of the information? Love the piece that you did about storming the field, too. I mean, just little tidbits here and there. How do people get involved, Rodney?
Yeah. Well, it's TigerInsider.com. It's only $48 a year, and you can get instant access with your credit card if you prefer. There is an address there to send a check. Gives y'all our premium information, but also our all sports forum. That's our community of Alabama fans. On the front page, we did link yesterday from all the great wins from Bryant all the way through DeBoer. Some of the great wins that came to mind. If you got to see that, and the fans chimed in. It's a great thread, but it's those types of things, and more that are available there on our all sports forum on TigerInsider.
Just wait till this summer, Barry. Greatest victories from Bryant all the way to DeBoer. We're going to be rehashing these with Rodney during the summer. Cannot wait.
That's good stuff. As always, Rodney, we do appreciate the time. Thanks very much.
Hey, guys, appreciate it. Y'all take care.
You too, buddy, man. The Rodney Orr, the Tiger Insider, brought to you exclusively by the Destin Connection Seafood Market. It's crawfish season. They got the spicy boiled and the live crawfish for you. Just call ahead 288-4272 or drop by 3750 Norman Bridge Road. Pick them up. David and the crew has them there for you at the Destin Connection Seafood Market.
Yeah, live crawfish. You can call and you can make sure that you place your order there because they're going to be going quick. Now, they're only going to be bringing up what they order because – they're not inexpensive. Make sure you can call for live crawfish 288-4272 exclusively at the Destin Connection Seafood Market. And I know everybody, all of our crawfish people, and crawfish people are, they're a dedicated subgroup.
You better know it,
man. You want, yeah, and you got to have good fresh crawfish. Fresh crawfish. And that means the Destin Connection Seafood Market, proud to bring you nearly a half hour.
Well, I'm about to say, wait a minute. Don't cut him short.
Inside.
I mean, a mere 23 minutes. I had him at 25 and a half.
I got him at 27. So,
whoa.
When we come back.
Oh, look at this. It's time for the Daily Dog. And then our man, Bart Heisch, our college basketball insider. He played on Mississippi State's Final Four team. I don't know if he could hit as many threes as State hit last night. I don't think they had the three-point line when Bart played.
If we're going to give Bart plenty of time, do we have to go to a break. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with our clinic and take advantage of our physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solutions service. Experience elevated physical therapy today. Call Phoenix Physical Therapy at 239-9316. That's 239-9316.
Located just 8 miles north of Alabama's state capital, Capitol Hill features 3 18-hole championship courses. With more than 1,500 acres of golf and nature, the pure magnitude of this facility is amazing and allows each course to be drastically different from the others. Capitol Hill also features an innovative 360-degree driving range, 400 yards in diameter. Capitol Hill offers a fully stocked pro shop with the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Capitol Hill for tee times and more information.
Jim Massey's Cleaners and Laundry is an Alabama-based, family-owned and operated business that specializes in dry cleaning and laundry, serving the river region since 1941. There are 12 convenient locations across the river region. Find one close to you or call 481-1911 for free pickup and delivery. For 83 years, Central Alabama has trusted Jim Massey's Cleaners and Laundry. You should too.
Alrighty, welcome back in, everybody. Glad you are with us here today. So glad you're a part of what we do. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell your friends about it. We really appreciate it. Longshore McKnight, just hit the search bar. You start typing in LONG and the rest of it will pop up. It's that simple. Longshore and McKnight on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, X, Spotify, Apple Tunes. However you receive content, video or audio, we are there for you, and we appreciate everybody checking us out, whether it's live or throughout the day on their schedule. We have a lot of people that do that, and we appreciate it. All right,
real quick.
So, what do you mean real quick? Bart's got to hear this. This is awesome. It is the Daily Dog. I don't think Barry ever says real quick when it goes the other way. But anyway, last night, Barry.
Oh, you got a 28-minute segment with Rodney Orr. I mean, there's bound to be some catching up, right?
Last night in our Daily Dog, Barry, we went SEC, Southeastern Conference last night.
Yeah.
Where the Arkansas Razorbacks rolled into Tuscaloosa last night as a 4.5-point underdog. And as we examined that, we went, 4.5. I know it is the SEC road, but wow, 4.5, Bama coming off an emotional win. I don't know. I just kind of looking here thinking maybe the Hogs are ripe for a cover. That's all we're looking for. We just need a cover.
At the end of the first half, when Nate Oates absolutely blistered Bryant Passing with a halftime interview and the Tide was trailing by 10 and they gave up, 48 points in the first half? 57 points in the first half. So Arkansas, it was looking really good then.
Yeah, it was looking good. But we didn't want to get too giddy, Barry.
No.
Because it's a 40-minute game, and last night I guess it was about a 50-minute game or something, however long overtime is.
Yeah.
But Barry, as we mentioned earlier in the show, it was kind of like Alabama's game when they hosted the Aggies of Texas A&M a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Bama wins the game, which is great if you're a Bama fan, but they don't cover the spread. And the Phantom had the 4.5 with the Hogs last night. Another ticket cashed for the Phantom's Daily Dog. So we are really happy about that. But let's look at tonight, Barry.
What do we got today?
The Phantom's Daily Dog. We're going, believe it or not, We're going American Conference tonight.
Yes. All right.
Yeah, I see Bart perking up in his chair, wanting to know where I'm going here.
Only two games tonight to pick.
That's right. What about the Bulls of South Florida, who are leading the American Conference?
Coached by former Alabama assistant coach Brian Hodgson, who once ran into John Longshore at a Kenny Chesney concert in Charlotte, North Carolina.
That's true, sat right in front of me.
Yep.
They are taking on the Green Wave of Tulane.
Ooh, I don't know. Hang on. Double check this. South Florida tonight. I got them taking on Memphis tonight. Am I wrong?
No. Hold on a second. I'm looking at the schedule here. Hold on. North Texas. I'm sorry, North Texas.
North Texas, not South Florida. Okay. North Texas at home.
I got my directions mixed up.
North Texas. It's the Mean Green versus the Green Wave tonight from Denton, Texas. Here we go. 8 o'clock tonight on the news.
Got my directions mixed up there. So anyway, Tulane heading on the road, taking on North, which is what you say, Denton, Texas?
Denton, Texas.
North Texas. And of course, North Texas, 15-11 overall, 6-7 in the league, taking
Yeah.
on a Tulane team tonight, Barry, who is right there next to them. I mean, right there next. These teams are neck and neck.
They're
Not only
basically
the
carbon
American-
copies of each other.
Pretty much.
So
why is North Texas laying 6.5 in this game?
because they're playing at the monolithic super pit in Denton, and that home game is worth 6.5 points. I'm not sure.
I'm not seeing it, Barry. I'm not seeing the green wave of Tulane catching 6.5.
Good one. Good one.
Denton, Texas tonight. I just don't feel it. So I'm going to – and Tulane's got a kid. I'm sure Bart knows about this young man. Tulane's got a kid that can fill it up. Rowan Brumbaugh. Guy's averaging about 36 minutes a game, 18.9 a game. This guy's not only leading him in points and assists, but also field goal percentage. This kid better be playing tonight. I haven't seen the roster, but if Rowan Brumbaugh's not playing, I'm in trouble. But I'm taking the green wave and Rowan Brumbaugh.
All right, there we go. Let's go to Bart Heisch, our hoops expert here, joining us. I got to tell you, last night, Bart, about halftime of the Mississippi State game against Auburn, everybody was bringing up your name, saying, "Man, Josh Hubbard shooting threes? That reminds me of Bart Heisch."
Whew. That's pretty high praise. Good to be with you this morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
He was. I haven't seen anything like that ever in Starkville in a half.
And believe me, Bart has seen a lot of things in Starkville.
Now I've shot it that many times in a half.
Yeah,
numerous times. But John, real quick on your little mix up there.
Yeah.
It just all the colors are green right now.
Yeah,
South
right.
Florida, Tulane, or Texas. So like
Well, if
it really
anybody
doesn't. You know, you
I was
can
looking at the
blindfold and
standings.
throw it
And
at the board,
I was
right?
looking at that team up top, and I just was kind of getting carried away with how good they looked, and forgot that they were actually playing North Texas tonight.
Can I have a little open?
Let's open up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Bart Heisch.
No, I mean, thank you, Barry, for that. But like, I mean, I'm a little perturbed at what I'm seeing from the Aubs this morning.
Uh-oh.
What are you seeing?
You can't lose at Mississippi State. Mississippi State is terrible. We're the same record in the conference as you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a
At
win
what
over
point-
with a win over you.
Yeah.
At what point does
Like,
Auburn, and
really?
again, there were two things that are absolutely
any good.
inexcusable, whether it's Mississippi State or whether it's the Harlem Globetrotters. Number one, at what point in the first half does Stephen Pearl in the under 4 media timeout maybe say, "Hey, how about we put a hand in 12's face out there on the arc?" Because he's already broken the Mississippi State record for 3-pointers in a game in the first half. When do you start guarding him? When do you start denying the ball?
I could ask Sean Miller the same question. There's numerous coaches in the league that have not doubled his ball screens, and you saw in the second half everything came to a screeching halt, like the train in Winfield at 3 a.m. some nights. But
was that the biggest excitement of Winfield's when the train came through town?
It comes through at 3 p.m. and 3 a.m.
Oh,
And still does. I don't know if it still does at 3 p.m., but every time I'm back in that place, it show does at 3 a.m.
Yeah,
no question.
Parts
I've just gotten up, go to the bathroom, John.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
Josh Hubbard.
You got to double him off ball screens, Barry.
Yes.
I mean, like Otzelberger showed us very clearly. The former coach at Kansas State, Jerome Tang, followed that up very clearly. You have to double the ball screens. Utah did it. Utah's not any good, but they were ahead by 15 the whole game. And then you got to make a Jabari McGee beat you. You got to make a Jaden Epps beat you. You got to make those other guys creators. And see, I haven't been all year really on. Scott Padgett is our offensive coordinator, playing the league for 8 years.
Yeah,
knows a lot of great stuff, runs a lot of great stuff, but we're running this stuff without an NBA player. We're running NBA stuff without NBA players. Think about that.
Yep.
All right.
And when that happens, it's like, now I'm not saying Josh Hubbard that is not a shot at Josh Hubbard, but anybody that like knows and what, I mean, there's a limit there defensively. As you go up levels, that will be an issue. But when it comes to offense, we ain't never seen, I mean, you can put the fact that people are and I did see my name mentioned like once or twice. I was like, bro, y'all need to stop now. I mean, this is different than Darrell Wilson. This is different than like what this kid can do.
Yeah.
And here's why. I couldn't create my own shot at that level like Josh can. Darrell Wilson couldn't create his own shot at that level. And not just that, he's 5'10", elevating up over people from 30 feet. And he'll rock you to sleep. And you can't guard him with one dude. There's not really anybody in the country that can keep him from getting his shot off when he wants to. If you just have one guy guarding him, he is that talented of an offensive player. At the same time, double him. He's out there dribbling with the ball, just playing one-on-one. Double him. What are they going to do with the blacktop, John? John, you sending a double?
Than what you're doing.
But here's what I found hard to believe. And, it happens. But Auburn's got, what was their lead? Like 6 points?
7.
Yeah.
80-73 when that Auburn guy was giving it to the Mississippi State fans.
Bad move.
TV,
bad karma move.
All being a bunch of all.
Mississippi State scores.
Don't do that.
Mississippi State scores 18 in the final 3:43 to win the game by 6.
Bart, the only time you give the opposing team fans the business, who was that kid at Ole Miss that got in front of that old Auburn fans?
Oh, Marshall Henderson.
He's in the 22 club.
Yeah, he is a 22.
He is.
He's a 22.
Yeah.
But no, I do, but I will say this on a serious note. Like, I do not have a problem saying with Stephen Pearl saying that this is the biggest loss. I don't think that has anything to do with Mississippi State or association with
they're in trouble.
A shot at us. They're in trouble, and he hasn't experienced a lot of big time losses at Auburn. Like, think about it. I mean, Bruce won games like that. They might have lost a couple here and there. I mean, that's really hard for me to believe that game was a bigger loss than a couple of those Alabama losses that they had, with BP. But at the same time, this one's more personal because it's his group. And
right.
Barry, I don't want to go as far as saying they're in trouble yet because of the schedule and because I do think this Auburn fan base can pick them up at home and kind of pull them out. But the issue is you've got locker room trouble. Your best player is getting suspended at this time of year, and you're having to teach lessons for down the road. Or is he going to be back? Yeah. Is he not? It must have been really bad. We hadn't heard a lot about everything that went on, but that's where your problems lie. It ain't that you just lost to Mississippi State, but I agree with Steven that the magnitude of this loss, as the 5th straight loss, when you come back and get up 7, that plane ride had to be real tough.
Ooh, yeah,
brutal.
So
on the other side of things, that Alabama-Arkansas game we talked before about, and Kansas at Fog Alamo a couple weeks ago about how great that game was. This game was better. I mean, in terms of viewership, double overtime, Phylon versus Acuff, and everything you wanted, Bart. Everything you wanted.
I've been trying to think of who Acuff reminds me of, and I don't really have a perfect comparison. Later in his career, maybe a little bit. But not shooting the basketball, okay? It's like guarding Stephon Marbury off the dribble. That's the comparison I'll give you. He's explosive, man. Going both ways, especially
he's
going
like
right.
Colin Sexton with length,
But Barry, here's the thing, bro. I mean, this dude can shoot it. I mean, this dude can really, really shoot it and isn't afraid to take big shots. I mean, isn't afraid to just 1-4 low. Hello, everybody, just get out of the way like they used to do for Longshore over at the what's
Church
Jeff
League,
Davis Y.
Southeast Y over there.
Southeast Y. Get out of the way. Bell Road Y.
Get out of the way.
Bulldog. But
daring the ref to call a charge on me.
Fallon is as advertised. There is a clear gap between the top 3 teams in the SEC and everybody else. Clear gap.
Okay.
Let me ask you this, Bart. If you have a game where 232 points are scored, am I looking at that?
You're taking the over, I hope.
Yeah, no doubt. Am I looking at it as neither of these teams can play defense, or are they just really good shooting and they make everything they throw up?
I didn't think Arkansas was good defensively last night. At times, especially in the second half. I don't really know. It's like Arkansas has a different level. And when A-Cup starts going off and stuff, I just don't know that they get, like, defensively. I think, guys, I'm telling you, man, if Brazil's got another gear, man, the plays he makes, the athletic plays are like top 3, top 5 pick, like athletic plays defensively. But you just don't see enough of them. You don't see him active enough out there on the perimeter. And he may not be able to do that. I've always been really talented impressed with how talented he is. The left-handed kid, 24, I love. He is a matchup nightmare. He gets in transition. Arkansas's got 5 guys, that's my point. Knox, who got hurt last night, and then the other kid, the freshman. Guys, they're good. I mean, they are really good, and they've been good all year. They've been good out of conference. They're tested. Well, I mean, we've got to put Alabama in this category. I mean, they went blow for blow. That was a heavyweight bout last night. Now, Alabama is just going to have to be better around the rim and better protecting the boards. It's too easy. I don't think A-Cup will be able to go get a lot of those same shots against Michigan, against Iowa State, against teams that'll double ball screens. And Alabama is really, as my boy Gary Harris says, Alabama is terrible in ball screen coverage. And he's right. They're really, really bad in ball screen coverage. And I just think that's because of a lack of depth. And it's difficult for Sherrill to have all that on him. Nate's going to go real small at time, guys, and he can play different. Here's the thing. And this is why Bediako was so important, Barry. Bediako allowed Alabama to play different ways. If they had to go really big, they could go. They can't go really, really big anymore and be athletic when they bring 13 in the game. You can't really play those two guys together. So you're always going to be a little bit limited with matchups. But Alabama can shoot the basketball, and they shot their way back in it last night. I think it's Florida. I think it's Alabama, Arkansas as B1 and B2, and then there's a gap, and it's everybody else.
Tennessee isn't in there.
Yeah, Tennessee.
Just don't.
What
guys,
don't you like about the Vols?
Well, I mean, they won by what, 20 last night? They beat Oklahoma, a sinking ship. Oklahoma, Porter Moser program team. Ole Miss has quit as well, which is last night. Ole Miss will definitely quit now. After that A&M game the other night, that was a really tough loss. You have to worry about that. Auburn's got something to play for. No, I mean, I'm not. Now the emergence, Barry, I think they're putting too much into Ament. I think Rick Barnes and that they have this mentality that the only way you can get to Final Four is if you've got Kevin Durant and you can throw it to him every time, because that's the only way they've ever gotten to a Final Four, because he can't coach his way out of it. That's the only thing I can go with, because you always see these collapses. Their guards aren't good enough, Barry, against the elite teams. Their guards are not good. All right. I don't think. Here's where I think they've messed up, though. Their guards can't post feed at a high level. Their bigs, they've got 4 bigs, and they're not good post passers. This is a Ron Slay point, not mine. And I started watching it, and it's become kind of mine. Like, the guards can't throw it in there. Dwayne Brown is one of the best post passers, if not the best post passer I've ever seen at the high school level in Alabama High School Athletic Association basketball.
Needs to be starting. Yeah,
he starts, but they don't play through him. They do a little bit, but he gets no touches. And I just, they're so focused on making Ament this 2-dribble pull-up guy, get to the line, and it's almost like they got to scratch that itch once every 3 or 4 trips. And I think they're more talented, but I do think offensively they're just a little bit limited on I like Gillespie, but I think he's small and can be guarded. And I think on the perimeter down the road, I don't think they're going to stand up. Maybe a Sweet 16 team at ceiling.
Okay.
After the loss
Fair.
last night in Starkville, does Auburn bounce back? Can they beat Kentucky Saturday night at Neville?
Go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say it.
I'll take Neville.
I don't think you're trying to formulate an opinion. I just think you're trying to.
I mean, coming
kind
from
in how you
someone who beat
present
Mark
it.
Pope in the Untouchables,
How about
Longshore,
that? Yeah.
the greatest team that ever set foot on a college basketball court. 7 first-round picks. Yeah, look them up. 7 first-round picks. This ain't Alabama football either. 7 or Georgia. 7 first-round picks.
Oh.
Barry, how do you not take Neville Arena? How do you not give this one to the Auburn fans?
They've lost 5 in a row. They've got some difficulties in the locker room, as you.
What's
say.
that line going to be? Kentucky
Hadn't seen-
or will Auburn be favored?
I can't
No.
imagine Auburn being a
No.
dog at home.
Bro, I'm telling you,
No.
they're going to
I'm
get 4 or
telling you
5
they will
points
be.
because of that place, man. I'm telling you.
I hear you.
That line will be close to a pick 'em.
Well,
All right, I'm gonna think about it.
So,
But
all right.
before we let you go, any comment on Tulane, North Texas tonight? Just asking for
That
a friend.
kid can really play the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I saw a film on them.
Brumbaugh.
I like
Brumbaugh.
North Texas. I think at home, especially, they are going to grind it out. I mean, they play a Troy style of basketball, but they don't shoot it like Troy. I've got South Alabama tonight in a huge game in the Sun Belt.
North against Texas State.
And Texas State is kind of that fly in the ointment of the conference every year that you don't want to see on your schedule, especially on the road. I think they came to Troy and won like last year or 2 years ago, maybe, Barry.
Yeah.
At an important time. So they got a
Yes.
really good freshman, Hall. Who I'm excited
DJ
about.
Hall, who shoots about 60%.
But I
Wait a
like where
minute.
your
Go
mind's
DJ
at.
Different guy, John. Different guy.
I know, right? But I like where your mind's at with the family pick tonight.
Okay.
A lot of green. A lot of green coming in. A lot of
Yes.
green.
It is the
coming
green
in.
wave of Tulane
have I shown
catching
y'all
6.5.
Uh-oh, hang
Oh,
on.
he's got a jersey. What's he got here? Oh, I know the Kurt
You
Signetti
got it.
helmet. Yeah, awesome.
How about you? The Kurt Signetti IU helmet.
He heard about
Yeah.
the parlay.
I'm telling you, if
Love
you
it.
could have fit that headset over that, he probably would have worn that during our
Yeah,
segment if
big
he
time.
could.
Coach,
Bart,
I can
as
catch you there,
always,
man.
at Bart at Heish Hoops at B Heish 22. Always appreciate you. Look forward to seeing you Saturday.
All right, man. Looking forward to the HSA in
Yes,
10
sir.
days.
Oh,
There you go.
can't wait for that too. Hey,
Appreciate
Bart
you.
Heiss will
Bart
catch touch base with you next week, my friend.
Come.
Checking college hoops, our basketball insider number 22 for the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Coming up, it's our Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 Topic Wheel, Longshore and McKnight, in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Ram Truck Month is here at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume CDJR dealer. New Rams, 19 grand off or 0% for 6 years. And heavy duties, 14 grand off. Backed by Ram's 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Only at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. The President's Day sales event is on at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume CDJR dealer. Grand Cherokees under 27 grand or up to 15 grand off. Wranglers, 14 grand off. And Gladiators, 16 grand off. Only at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Love is in the air, and so is your chance to win during Victoryland Casino's BMW and 25K giveaway. Drive away in a brand new BMW or win your share of $25,000 in free play. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Stop by the Players Club and fall in love with this month's exciting free play promotions. There's more ways to win at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Located off I-85 exit 22 in Shorter, Alabama. Drawings February 27th and 28th. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
Okay, welcome back in, everybody. Of course, you can win a BMW and 25K in the big giveaway this month at Victoryland. The more times you visit, the better your chance of winning. And they'll give that away at the end of this month, the 27th and 28th of February. All right, what we got?
We got our Victoryland 777 Topic Wheel, Longshore and McKnight. Don't know what any of these are. 6 topics up for sale.
Up for
To
sale.
solve. Oh, how about this? The Seahawks, less than 2 weeks after they win the Super Bowl, their late owner, Paul Allen, according to the terms of his estate, is going to sell the Seahawks. Something like $7 billion, I think I read, which would be is the expected going rate, which would be a record How about that? Somebody can go ahead and buy a Super Bowl champion. That opportunity is, again, Paul Allen's no longer with us. That was dictated by the terms of his will. They just happened to win the Super Bowl.
It's interesting, Barry. I don't know if this is on the wheel, but I also saw where the gentleman that started the restaurant Raising Cane's,
love those guys.
He is a billionaire, is possibly going to be the new owner of the New Orleans Saints. We'll watch out for that. That is a Louisiana-based company.
There we go.
Let's spin again, see what we got.
Again. Yes.
And, look at this. 5 more to go.
Yeah.
Deep dark purple today, I see on the wheel.
Loves him some colors. Future schedules and colors on the top.
Yeah.
Ooh, gut check.
Oh.
Whew. Yeah.
This be about
gut check.
Wonder where that ever came from. Gut check.
I mean, you got to check your guts, like Dabo used to say. You got any guts? We're about to check right here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, in the Olympics. Team USA gut check versus Sweden. This is men's hockey. USA wins that one. We'll get to see the winning goal. Quinn Hughes slap shot. There you go. And they end up beating Sweden and move on. This is an overtime goal.
Yeah,
one of those golden goal deals. Only 4 more days left in the Winter Olympics.
Oh, really?
Which means another 4 days for John to ignore the Winter Olympics. So there we go. Back at it again. On the topic wheel.
A certain position on the ice for it to be called a slap shot?
You do, but I mean, it's not just like a tapper. You got to just rear back and fire it. Kind of like John with the driver on the tee.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right.
4 more to go. Let's see what we got. It's going to be green.
Who let the dog out? What was that, Baja Boys? Who let the dog out?
Yeah, they didn't start last night.
Oh, yeah, this was great. I think this was a wild dog, one of these wolf chasing him, for goodness sakes.
Don't they have leash laws over there? What the heck?
I mean, this is a wild dog. This right here we go back.
Man,
Gurn's on it today. This is some really good stuff.
Love the animals.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. We got 3 more to go.
All right.
Yellow, red, and blue.
All right, this will be yellow, guaranteed.
Think so?
Oh, no, it got a little stuck. So we end up on got robbed.
Huh. Is that what Stephen Girl said last night? More Olympics.
Oh, this is the fat heads on the stick and all that. There you go.
Highest judging.
Yeah, there you go.
Sports where a judge is involved, I don't know.
Yeah, he says, I mean, we get robbed. I've gotten robbed before. I'll get robbed again. You get robbed when there's judges out there. Never bet on, this is one of the fantasy, but never bet on anything with judges.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
All right, 2 more to go. Here we have it. Yep. What's it going to be? Blue or red? Victoryland 777 Casino, where you can be a winner to getting to work.
Getting to work, yes. Brian Dable's the new offensive coordinator of the Titans. He got axed by the Giants. Former offensive coordinator at Alabama, Cam Ward. Now, Gurn Jr. is a Titans fan, lives up in Nashville. He was introduced yesterday. Working with Cam Ward.
All right.
The face of the franchise. Now, he has got to work. Cam Ward, this can't be any Marcus Mariota deal. He has got to work. This is, if that doesn't work, that's another 5 or 6 years of irrelevance for the Titans. He needs to have a Steve McNair kind of impact. And Brian Dable is there to ensure that is what happens. I
hear gut check equal gird your loins and reach down deep. Yeah. Huh. Okay.
Gird your loins. I've always wondered about that. I don't like talking about my loins, and I certainly don't want anybody to say I've girded anything.
No kidding.
All right. Here we go.
Popping out. What do we got?
Oh, this is brutal. If I'm right on this, this is brutal. JT Toppin was averaging 22 points a game. He was a National Player of the Year candidate. He's out for the year with an ACL tear. You can count Texas Tech out now. Toppin, easily one of the top 2 or 3 players in the country. He blew out his ACL last night. He is done, and unfortunately so is Texas Tech.
Well, Barry, I know you're done. You're heading back to the state, heading to Mobile. We'll check in with you tomorrow from the port city. I'll be at Stivers Ford here in town where Price sells cars.
Yeah, appreciate everybody. Lots of energy on the show today.
Yeah.
Thanks very much. He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.